Is this enough to believe? And how did we start believing this? Let me give you an answer. According to literature and studies in zirconia, Saylor et al. In 2009 found 73.9% in a 3 to 5 unit zirconia FPD after 5-year follow-up. Radowski in 2006, 100% success rate of zirconia FPD with larger connector size than 9 millimeters. Now I'm introducing a word called as larger connector size. Going back, Schmidt et al. 2009, 4 to 7 units, 96% success rate. Again, Schmidt in 2009, 100% in a mean of 34 means roughly 3 years. This, they're getting 100, 96, 83% success rate in long span bridges, 4 to 7 units, right? In 2012, again this is a 4 to 7 unit. They found 82. This is how the literature is saying in 2012, current status. So, I'm just saying that the material itself is not weak, but we are believing this. This is because we have confused zirconia with all ceramic. You had your studies with Emax. Fracture hota tha. The company says maximum study of Emax longevity is 3 to 4 years. Go back to the literature and see. And it says 3 units, and that too in ideal conditions. Glass ceramics, not Emax. Emax is a brand name, but let's say glass ceramic. But they are the kings. So we are talking about brands. Issue here is that when you talk about a glass ceramic, the limitation of the material is like that. Now, because zirconia came after glass ceramics, there was already a history and a precedent set that it is weak. And people just took it for granted. But as such, it is a different material. It is not a glass ceramic. Let's say this is a model and this is a scanned 3D image. This is our lab, and this is the brand that we generally promote by the name. So this is a scanned 3D image of 8 unit anterior beam. I'll just show you that how this connector plays a role, how the lab plays a role, how the designing plays a role, and how knowledge of the subject plays a role. So this is a design bridge. You see over here you have a connector width 15, 15, 16. Right? Can you see it? We change it, and this is again been redesigned, and we have brought it to 25, 21, 23. We've doubled sort of the connector width. This is, if you compare it previously 16, here it is 23. Now, if you can double the connector, I'm sure that if you it's very clear what strength a 2 mm glass. See, glass is not weak. You have 100 floor buildings made of glass. So to say glass is weak and it will crack, it just shows that we are not really very sure of what we are understanding the material as such. Today, you have more or less the walls made in glass. So you treat the glass differently. Here it is the same way. You treat the designing aspect of zirconia properly, give it where it requires the right amount of support, it will last. So, next question that comes is, why do we really need to fabricate long span bridges? Because that's asked that, Anti's law is there. Why do you want to make long span bridges? Ethically and technically, why should you make? You put implants. So that is where, if you put implants, you're not going to put one implant and one tooth. You're going to put, and this was also a concept. Like I was saying, how implantology is evolved. First you say every tooth lost one implant. Then they said for every 3 teeth lost 2 implants. And now all on 4, all on 6, all on none. The next concept. So, next coming to in implant rehabilitation cases, and of course in areas where everybody cannot afford implants, you may have to give long bridges. So these are the two cases where you want to give, so you would like to design. I'm just justifying that the obvious thing is that we can just say there is no need to give long bridges and close it. So caution with long bridges is increase or span length of zirconia framework of 6 or more may decrease the marginal and internal fit. Right? You were asking me regarding the fit some time back in the morning. Now, this is not because of the CAD-CAM. You start preparing a molar on this end and you prepare a canine, let's say 6 and 3. The canine has a different angulation in the mouth and the molar has a different angulation. So to make it parallel, you'll have to reduce a lot, and that may not be possible all the time. So what happens? You have undercuts. Naturally, whatever you do, so when you have those undercuts, you got to block them. So whether it is CAD-CAM or no CAD-CAM, that misfit will occur. But that's the limitation of the case. So next, with marginal configuration of PFM and zirconia should be the same. I discussed this. We all still believe, but actually, even what we are doing today in PFM, all of us who are practicing here, how many of you are making shoulders for PFM? Shoulders. Do you do a shoulder preparation, Dr. Mehta? You do? Don't do. There is no need now. That was the time when we didn't have, this kind of technology, not CAD-CAM, even in PFM. You can just make a heavy chamfer. You need not make a shoulder, because shoulder removes too much of tooth structure. And in a shoulder, to get the casting at 90 degrees is impossible. That's a bit separate from this discussion, but we will leave it. You will always have a gap. This was started because we needed a shoulder, because we needed below the margin a layer of metal and porcelain to be built up on top. That time the ceramics that were coming they could not be durable without having support underneath. Right? But things have changed now. So, but this is not there. Nobody discusses these things. So, I think marginal configuration for zirconia still needs to be tested. There is no evidence, but what we have realized and what the literature says, I'll share it with you, that you need not do shoulder, you can do a knife edge also. And you can leave the margin a millimeter or two without putting a layer of ceramic, because you can get the same color if you can. So, Schillenberg recommended that a shoulder with a bevel should be given, that is in cast restorations, that is PFMs. This is what we have all read and brought up with. These are the 3 different types of margins: feather edge, chamfer, and this cut is a shoulder. So if you go, Jaya, he said a deep chamfer should be given. Again, he recommended a chamfer margin. But today where we stand, the fact is that you have to select your margin according to the material, which the books don't say today, according to the biomechanical requirements, substructure requirements, and overlaying ceramic considerations. Which kind of ceramic you are using. And that is where Vita, the actual leaders in ceramic, true leaders. I went to Cologne, the whole event was sponsored by Vita. In India, around 12 years back when we started, I had to buy my own Vita, import it. I could not buy it here. Vita didn't consider probably having or whatever it is, they didn't have many players who were selling. Bombay mein the, that's true, but it was very difficult to get Vita. And we have never used anything else. Vita, I've visited, I've seen the factory, not that I'm promoting them, but I've really seen how they select the material, how they correct it and make it. So, and maybe we are so used to working with it, how to adjust the powder. So, but I'm trying to tell you is that as a clinician, you need to know if your material is zirconia, whether it is PFM, what are the biomechanical requirements? Is it a bridge? Is it a crown? Is it a long bridge? What kind of forces are going to be on it? That is a biomechanical consideration. The substructure requirements. What kind of substructure that you are using? That means आपका connector कैसा है? Flex होता है नहीं होता है? All of these things will decide your margin. Margin is not a mechanical thing, same for every patient. But yes, you have not much to play with. Shoulders, I feel you can eliminate. Deep chamfer, you can go as a safe thing. But if you are using zirconia, its advantages. You can work with lesser reduction of tooth structure. Like I just told you, opaque, which is 0.5 mm, that half millimeter of reduction is over. All of us do not accept, but the fact is you see your PFM restorations down 5 years, 3 years or 2 years, you will find the occlusal surface bald of ceramic. I mean, it doesn't happen in my practice, everybody says, but मैंने और लोगों का काम देखा है और और लोगों ने हमारा काम देखा है तो उसमें देखा. But where is this reported? Nobody talks. कि PFM के ऊपर what is the bond strength of ceramic? We accept it. And I'll just show you, we've done our own research. We have done our research, we've got our results, and it was an in-house research. It was a project of ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. You don't get an approval and grant just like that. You just can't give them anything. And we've got results, amazing. On many things we tested in zirconia. We've been, doing research for the last 6 years now. And the shear bond strength we found better than PFM. And the fracture there where it occurred, of course I'm going a bit ahead of my slides because it is there. It was between the ceramic, VM9, beta ka, and the ceramic. That is where we found the fracture. We didn't find the fracture between the zirconia coping and the ceramic. That means it's a cohesive fracture which shows that the material itself is so strong. The bond is stronger than the material itself. I hope you can follow. Yes, sir, please. No. Okay. You want tea? No, no. You go ahead. Please tell me.
Yes, yes.
Okay. No, if you want tea, we'll stop. So what are the modifications that can help you get better results with zirconia? One is full zirconia at the margins, I'll just show you, and a cutback technique. What I mean by full zirconia at the margin, this is one. You know, like you have a collar in your PFM, give a collar like this here. Build it up, you'll get it. It's the same color, you won't see it. Who's going to see it in the lower bridge here? No, it'll work. Glaze it. I mean, it works. So, you see this? This is a cutback design. So, why modifications? Because you can't treat it like PFM. Dr. Paramjit just said that sandblasting, it was a very small point, sandblasting of the zirconia led to phase transformation. Monoclinical phase formed. Now this is very important. This is very important in the sense When the results came, I told you 5 years back, the results were that bond strength of zirconia with ceramic is not adequate. It's very, very compromised. It is true. The initial studies did prove this. But the reason was because everybody was treating zirconia like a PFM. आप PFM की क्राउन की कॉपी का जो डिजाइन बनाते हो वही zirconia में बनाना चाहते हो. आप PFM को सैंड ब्लास्ट करते हो तो zirconia को भी सैंड ब्लास्ट करना चाहते हो. You forget the minute you sand blast it, you put stress. It is not a material for sand blasting. Okay? You can't copy just like that. And then say, it's not working. So, sorry, where was I? Metal needs to be masked. Zirconia itself is aesthetic, a thin layer of porcelain is required. Now, undercuts. You can block it, but like I said, if there's an undercut here, whether it is CAD-CAM or anything, it will remain open. Okay? The margin will be open because you cannot take out something which is wider at the top and narrower at the bottom. And if your margins are not good, soon your patients are going to develop this kind of inflammation. And aesthetic is going to be compromised. So as we increase the span length, number of abutment increases, the chances of undercuts in the preparation are inevitable. This leads to an internal misfit, and this is because there is a natural inclination of all the tooth. This tooth is going in this direction, and this tooth is going in this direction. You cannot make them parallel when you do a preparation. So probably what is understood to be a limitation of the material may actually be a planning failure. You know, he's a donkey, he can take weight. But if you put the weight more than the seesaw, you can't say he's useless. Bring another donkey. Bring another donkey. No, it won't work. That's what we do. If this happens in our practice, we say, this donkey was not good. मैं तो कितना donkey के पर भेजा अब तक कुछ नहीं हुआ. This donkey का तो problem है. So answer to this lies in understanding the science behind it. Substructure considerations. That's the key to your success. How the substructure has been designed. If you design it just like the coping, you had it. Christensen in 2010 concluded that design frameworks with an anatomic design rather than an R/T restoration thickness increases the restoration strength. How much? So, connector design, coping thickness, combination of both, that is what you require for a long span bridge. How do we do it? Again, what the literature says, 4 into 4 millimeter, 16 millimeter connector cross section compared to a 9, they found a significantly higher strength increase. Now, as the connector was increased further, they said that the strength of all ceramic, yttrium stabilized zirconia and FPD beam primarily depends on the connector dimension, then on the thickness of the abutment core. That means doing more reduction, making the coping thick will not give you more strength. But changing the design, making it slightly different will give you. So designing the zirconia bridges is an art and science. So let's look at the science behind the art. Again, coming back to the same thing what I told you, 16, 23, dimensions with anatomical design. This is, we have modified everything. We've given this, this. 3-4 things we have changed. How we can make in the same bridge, make it to double or triple the strength. And in the end, you get both. This is another case, implants, same, design it in this manner, get the right connector width. See the connector, 26, 26. It's not going to fracture. If someone tells me a PFM, you would have made it stronger, I will not believe it. Why? Why will the material fracture? It will not fracture. Maybe, you know what we are comparing, that if you put a metal table or a wooden table, a glass table cannot be strong. No. You put a 12 mm glass table, it will be strong. Okay? So, But you have to understand the biomechanical preparation. That means how much load you want to put on the table. You put a 20 mm glass. If your load is going to be larger, right? So what you are using it for, that's also equally important. This green thing that you see over here, all this is what the porcelain is going to come, and this is how the bridge is going to look. What I showed you was substructure, and this is how the porcelain, and this is how the bite. This is where the CAD-CAM is important. How your bite, how your restoration, how the cast to fossa, how the design of the whole thing. Everything is right to the point. Your technician, when he layers, he cannot bring it labeling more out. The chances of error and getting predictable treatment outcomes. That is one more science today that dentistry is changing into. How predictable can your treatment be? Do you get the results that you were looking for, or do you get them by fluke, or you actually planned to reach there and you did it? Cantilever, any material will fail. We do not recommend cantilever even in PFMs. Most of the PFMs that are made with cantilever, they have soft tissue. You see under the pontic, see what happens. Pretty pathetic. Even in PFM, cantilevers are not given. And if you have a cantilever, this is the tooth it is attached. Every time it's a slow extraction process. Again, it's a limitation of planning and not the material. So the next most common misnomer or 9 that zirconia bond strength is lower. So, and we believe that it will chip. I've already told you some points on it. But again, I will give you the evidence behind it. The literature says the bond strength of PFM is in this range and the bond strength is this range. Why 9?